What's up, YouTube? Dax the Leader here, back with my Week 10 game for Season 3 of the CPL versus Heavy Metal Pokemon, aka Eric, and his Denver Rapidash. We're currently sitting at a 4-5 win-loss record, which basically means that we need to win out in order to make playoffs. At the very least, I'm really hoping to win this game so that we have a chance to go positive at the end of the regular season, because I think even if we win out, it's not guaranteed that we make it. But it certainly puts our fate into our own hands, and that is what I would like to do. Before we get into Eric's team, I want to give a quick shout out to Ashan and Troy for mocking with me this week. You guys are a huge help as always. Now, Eric's team, his first 6 mons are super fast. He's got that Mega Manectric, Zygarde 10%, Cinccino, I don't know, I still don't know how to say that. Alolan Ninetales, Kartana, which is an offensive Z user, Keldeo, which is a super Z user, Arcanine, Mandibuzz, and around this point his speed just kind of plummets, because he goes from 95 to 80 to 65 with that Alolan Sandslash, which is his final offensive Z user. He has the Chestnut, the Donphan, and the Granbull as his final Pokemon. So, immediately what I see is that I'm gonna have a hard time switching in to a lot of these threats combined. I need Scizor for the Kartana, because nothing else takes a hit from that. Between Keldeo, Mega Manectric, and Arcanine, I kind of need the combination of Latios plus Sylveon to check all 3 of those. Because in my mocks, I don't know if I saw all 3 both times, but I'm pretty sure I did. And that means, yeah, I pretty much am forced to bring both my Dragon and my whole Steel Dragon Fairy Core in order to be able to take even one hit, get my threats in, and do some damage. And this is going to be another offense versus offense matchup, as you can see. I'm also pretty scared of Aurora Veil, so I want a solid way to get rid of that. You'll see what I came up with in just a second. But let's start off with my primary win con for this game, which is Hardcore, the Manaphy, Nyson, Z, Rain Dance, Surf, Tail Glow, and Psychic, 2 attacks this week. That's all I really need to hit his team. His Kartana is his only... Okay, Kartana, Chestnut, and Keldeo are his only water resists. Keldeo and Chestnut are weak to Psychic, and Kartana dies to any special move, so I'm not too worried about... I don't think I need coverage for the Kartana. So, a Z Rain Dance type of Manaphy is really nice this game. My speed is for the Arcanine, and in addition to only needing 2 coverage moves, having a Weather Setter of my own to stop his hail from whittling down my team, because like it's not like I'll be blocking Aurora Veil or anything, because A, he's faster, and like Alolan Ninetales like would the veil will already be up, is what I'm saying. So just to prevent some chip damage versus my team, a Rain Dance user is nice, and this is going to be my late game sweeper for this game. Next up, we've got Sparkles, the Scizor, back again in a defensive role this week. Very defensive role. in order to check that Kartana. That's what Hidden Power Fire is for. Bullet Punch hits Ninetales and most of his team as well. Roost is for reliable recovery, and Toxic is to catch switch-ins such as Arcanine, Keldeo, and Mega Manectric. But that's when I noticed I needed to bring Latios and Sylveon because I have to bring Scizor to check the Kartana. I think all three of his Scizor checks are pretty likely. So that's why Scizor does really well this game. Scizor can also take hits from Alolan Sandslash and Cinccino if I have to, and it does resist Alolan Ninetales' dual stab, but that thing is really strong on the special side and can pack Hidden Power Fire, so if I can, I'd really like to avoid switching Scizor into Ninetales. Next up, we've got an excellent revenge killer this game in Choice Scarf Latios. Defog, Psychic, Draco Meteor, and Thunderbolt Defog to get rid of hazards and a potential Aurora Veil. Psychic hits his whole team neutrally except for the Mandibuzz and the Kartana, but like I said, Kartana doesn't have a special defense stat. As well as Alolan Sandslash, which I'm not outspeeding in the hail anyway, but its special defense isn't great. So I'm not too worried about coverage for that, and I can also kind of hard wall it with Scizor, so I'm not too worried about packing coverage for Sandslash. Draco is a stronger stab move that hits everything that's not a fairy type, and again, those steals. And so I decided to throw on a Thunderbolt for that. For the Mandibuzz primarily is what Thunderbolt is for. I could have ran a kind of Hidden Power, maybe Hidden Power Fire, Hidden Power Poison even to hit his Granbull a little bit harder, but I decided that coverage for the Mandibuzz was more important. The speed is to outspeed any kind of Scarfed Alolan Ninetales or Kartana. Next up, we've got Leviathan, the Sylveon, coming back to sponge those special hits as usual, rocking the Hyper Voice, Hidden Power Fire, Wish, and Protect. All I need this thing to do is pivot in on special attackers such as Keldeo, such as Mega Manectric, such as Alolan Ninetales. I just gotta take a hit and stay healthy. I can wish to things like Manaphy, like Scizor, even like Arrow, maybe even Latios. So Sylveon is nice support for the team. He doesn't have a good Hyper Voice switch-in, so considering that Sylveon gets in pretty easily versus anything that isn't Kartana and Sandslash, I can throw off Hyper Voices and get some big damage off. I'm a little worried about Arcanine, because Sylveon lets in Arcanine quite easily, but I have good ways of checking that with Manaphy, Latios, and Arrow. And Sylveon's Hyper Voice also lets in Kartana and Sandslash, which is why I decided I have to pack the Hidden Power Fire over something like Heal Bell to provide more support for the team. Next, we've the bulk on Sylveon is to avoid a 2-hit KO from an uninvested Woodhammer from a Chestnut, and the speed is also to creep an uninvested Chestnut, I believe, because it's base 64, we're base 60, there you go. Alright, so that's my Sylveon. And second to last, we've got our Weavile right here. Icicle Crash, Knockoff, Brick Break, and Metal Claw. Icicle Crash allows me to revenge kill Zygarde, which is a big problem otherwise. It also hits Chestnut, Donphan, Mandibuzz, and Manectric, Sylveon pretty hard. I didn't really have a way to do a ton of damage to those otherwise, so it's really nice to have some ice type stab this game. Knockoff removes items and is another great stab move in general. Brick Break is for that Alolan Sand Slash to do big damage to that, but mainly to get rid of the Aurora Veil, because that is a secondary effect of Brick Break, is to destroy screens unless the target's immune. And my targets are not immune. It's either going to be the Alolan Ninetales or the Sand Slash, Sand Slash being quad weak, as I mentioned, and I don't think Eric has a Ghost type, actually, which is really nice. I also have Metal Claw in that last slot to get some 4 times super effective damage on the Ninetales if I need to. Max speed, max attack with the Adamant Nature allows me to outspeed +2 Sand Slash and Scarf Alolan Ninetales. Finally, we have Penance the Aerodactyl. I think I've brought this thing every week except maybe one. This is my stealth rocker this game because Eric does not have the greatest haphazard removal. He's got the Donphan, the Kartana, the Mandibuzz, and the Sandslash, which is nice, but 2 of them are really slow. And they're all pretty frail except the Mandibuzz, which Aerodactyl beats naturally. So Aerodactyl's rocking the Stealth Rock, Earthquake, Toxic, and Roost. Toxic helps me out versus things like Arcanine, versus things like Manectric, Keldeo, Chesnaught might want to come in, maybe Donphan. Donphan is going to be the primary mon that's switching into Aerodactyl, I think. But getting toxic damage off on things is really important for me, just wearing down his team, because I'm a defensive Aerodactyl. In order to check Arcanine, I realized that was a problem in my mock battles. I have a 60 speed investment, which outspeeds a Manectric, creeping a max speed Weavile, and Earthquake hits everything except the Mandibuzz, which I don't think will be switching in. And Chesnaught and Mandibuzz are weak to my stab move, so I don't think he'd bring those in on Aerodactyl, but Earthquake hits everything else neutrally, which is really nice. Like I said, Toxic to wear stuff down, Roost for recovery, and the rest into defense investment. I want Rocks up as early as possible, and so Aerodactyl is going to be my dedicated lead. What I plan on doing is clicking Roost immediately, and what I thought would happen, I don't know if this actually works, or if Roost just fails if you're at full HP, but what I'm hoping is that I lose my flying typing, so that when my Manectric Volt switches, it's not super effective if he leads my Manectric, because I don't have my Nidoqueen this week. I don't have a good Volt Switch response, and I just can't let that thing come in. It's also not worth going for Earthquake turn 1, because I'll be intimidated, and yeah, the Earthquake just won't do enough, because I'm not attack invested. Alright, so with that said, this is the team we're bringing versus Eric, and let's see how we did in the game. Alright guys, welcome back to my Week 10 battle versus Eric. We can see he brought the Mega Manectric, the Keldeo, the Ninetales, the Arcanine, Mandibuzz, and Cinccino. So things that stick out to me immediately are no Zygarde and no Kartana. Those are huge threats that I don't have to worry about so much. I did not have an Arrow's Resist on my team, and Kartana breaks through everything except that Scizor. Unfortunately, he brought all 3 of his Scizor checks in Manectric, Keldeo, and Arcanine, so I'd love to get some toxic damage off on those as early as possible. And like I said in my team builder, I am always leading off with Aerodactyl right here in order to get my rocks up early. So that's just what I'm going to do. As he leads with the Manectric, I'm going to click Roost like I said, but this thing turns out to be faster and I take all that damage, a clean 80% turn 1 on my Aerodactyl before getting the Roost off. So he's a really fast Manectric. He might be speed creeping the exact spread I brought, which is genius in my opinion. Well played, Eric, or well built. Well played regardless. Because that was a pretty ballsy call, just assuming that I wouldn't be faster. So, Arcanine comes out right here, and I see no reason to not just get up my rocks, as he's gonna double into that Keldeo. I'm not entirely sure. Looks like he went Arcanine, predicting. Well, he saw that I stayed in, so I don't know, maybe he just didn't want to take a hit with anything else. Yeah, he doesn't really have a great arrow switching. So he just wanted to get that double Intimidate. Oh, that's what he did. He wanted to get that double Intimidate off. That was smart. So he goes into Keldeo, which forces out my Aerodactyl because I'm -2 attack. I cannot touch this thing even if I had super effective coverage for it. So I have to go into Sylveon right here. Latios would be a better check generally, but since this is Draft League, I don't want to bring it in on a potential Icy Wind. I've seen way too much of that on the OU ladder, and Keldeos have beaten my Latioses that way in the past, especially if it's Scarf. So I can bring in Sylveon right here as he goes for the Calm Mind, and this is terrifying. I just want to get some damage off on this, so I go for the Hyper Voice, as he takes me down to 13% with the Hydro Vortex. Great set, Eric. I basically have to trade my Sylveon for about 50% on this Keldeo now, because that was big damage, and I can't wish up. He outspeeds next turn, and nothing else on my team takes a hit, so I have to let Sylveon go down right here. Thankfully, well, I'm gonna waste some PP on whatever hidden power that is. Most likely Steel or Poison. And then, well, guaranteed Steel or Poison, I don't know which one. But I'm gonna go into Latios now because I know that a Thunderbolt kills from this range. I also decided to go for Thunderbolt over something like Psychic because it has a chance to 2-hit KO Ninetales after Rocks if he's not defensive at all. And it's my best attack to hit that Magnezone. That's Magnezone, Mandibuzz. That was an interesting mistake on my part. So I'm just gonna throw off that Thunderbolt as I catch the Ninetales. Now, this is a game-defining turn, I think, because Thunderbolt does 37%. Now, somehow in my mind, I thought that instead of him being at 39% and me doing 37, I thought he was at 37 and I did 39. So in my calc, what it looked like is that if this is an offensive Ninetales with no bulk investment, I have a 56% chance to kill with the next Thunderbolt. And like I said, I'm very hesitant to switch in anything into this Ninetales, because at this point, a Specs Ninetales just claims a kill versus my team. And because that Cinccino is still around, I really don't want to weaken my Scizor, and I want to be able to Toxic multiple Mons on his team still, so if I can avoid switching into this, I would. And because I was under the impression that the roll was in my favor, I'm just going to attack. But because he's actually at 39, not 37, I only have a 31% chance. to kill this Ninetales, and that's assuming he's 0 bulk, which he probably shouldn't be. I think he should be outspeeding... Do I have a 105? I have a 106. Yeah, he should probably be outspeeding my Pyroar. So this was a really risky play without me knowing it, but it pays off because I can get that kill on the Ninetales, which is arguably the biggest threat to my team at this point. Aster says in the chat, I hope that was in your favor. And I'm like, yeah, it was. I held my breath though. Turns out I was wrong. That was just really lucky on my part, so I'm sorry to Eric for that. It was like a 20%-ish roll difference. 25% exactly. But and that's not even counting HP investment, like I said. So some people call rolls hacks, some people don't. It's still like, I made a pretty suboptimal play, and was rewarded for it. I should have gotten Scizor right there, so sorry that happened. But now that his fairy type is gone, Latios can just drop Dracos versus anything on this team, and I'm also nearly at full health, which is kind of wild. So I can just go into Scizor right here, as he throws off the Thunder Wave, which is a really nice tech on the Cinccino. Knowing that he has nothing to hit my Scizor, a nice Thunder Wave was a really good play. Sylveon could I gotta stop doing that. Cinccino also has Technician, so an HP Fire could hurt. I didn't think of that at the time, but I'm just going to go for the Roost here, I believe, to be at full health versus anything that wants to come in. Or, oh, actually, no, that's right. I go for the Toxic, expecting one of his 3 checks to come out. Mandibuzz comes out, and is just going to go for the Defog. This is where I Roost, because I know Hail's going to end and I'm going to be at full health at the end of the turn. So, with Mandibuzz Toxic, that helps me out a lot. You always like having Mandibuzz as Toxic. Those Mons like that are annoying, and he has no way to remove that Toxic on the Mandibuzz. So I'm liking what my Scizor has done this game, and he's just going to switch out. Again, predicting that I'm going to go for another Toxic and catch the Manectric, which helps me out a ton. And now I'm going to switch into Latios because I can just claim a kill with the Draco Meteor right here, and I take out that Manectric, which is really nice. Here I don't really have a switch into this Keldeo. Because I'm at -2 special attack, this thing is going to set up, I know that, so I have to sack something off, and I'm gonna decide to go into Scizor, and I know that even if he gets the +2 special defense, a Psychic still does 41% to the Keldeo. So I just have to sack something, and then Latios can come in and revenge kill it. But what's going to end up happening is that I go for the Toxic on this Calm Mind turn. That works out. But as you're going to see, Eric's going to miss the Hydro Pump as I go for the Bullet Punch and take the Toxic damage, meaning the combination of my next Bullet Punch plus the Toxic damage will take out this Keldeo, resulting in a double down right here. He would have most likely been able to pick up... I don't know. It's hard to say, but like, that Keldeo could have done a ton of damage versus something. It would have still been alive, is what I'm saying. When I would have to sack Scizor, bring in the Latios, and yeah, that's right, I'd have to lock myself into Psychic or Draco. I couldn't have just swept through his team at that point, because he still has the Mandibuzz alive. So yeah, now I get a chance to claim one with Latios, which I would not have been able to do otherwise. I bring this out, drop the Draco on the Cinccino, and it just kind of drops. which is what happens to chinchillas when you drop meteors on their heads. And right here he has just the Mandibuzz left, which is under 60% and toxic, and the Arcanine, so I can pretty freely go into Manaphy because I'm holding the Z Crystal. Knockoff's not going to do a lot. If he Toxics, I can Rain Dance and heal that off. And I'm thinking that everything is in range of a Rain Boosted Surf without me having to go for the Tail Glow or anything. So that's just what I'm going to do. I'm going to Z Rain Dance up, and I'm going to be able to sweep through the remainder of Eric's team. Foul Play's not going to do anything, I'm a special attacker. So, like I said, click Surf twice, and that's GG to Heavy Metal Pokemon, aka Eric. I know it was quite hacksy. There were two major instances of me getting really lucky with the Hydro Pump miss and the Thunderbolt roll. All things considered, like, the odds weren't incredibly ridiculous. Like, Hydro Pump does have a good chance to miss, and like the roll was a 30% chance, but like it's a lot of people, it's not like a crit or a flinch or anything. I do think I had a favorable matchup, and I do think I prepped really well, especially because my mocks helped me out. I identified that he, like, what an interesting thing about this game is that I feel like I really needed to bring my Steel Dragon Fairy Core, and he knew that, and I think he did know that. So, and I think because of that, he kind of needed to bring Arcanine, Manectric, and Keldeo. So it's not so much that we both prepped well, I think, and we were both like ready and expecting what each other brought, and because I had those mock battles, I think I was just able to anticipate what I would need to do in this game, and I pulled it off. So that puts us at 5-5, which we're looking really good for playoffs, because I think Chu lost. I think Chu lost in week 10. Yeah, that's right. I don't remember who we lost to, but he did lose this week. So, and Fancify did as well. Did he? Yeah, Fancify lost in week 10 as well. If I'm wrong, correct me in the comments. But basically, if we win next week, and Fancify loses his week 9 game versus Eric, which he hasn't played yet, then we're in playoffs, and we have a positive record to end the regular season. So I'm super hyped for that. We are taking on pure awesome gaming of the Purdue Molebreakers, formerly the Dallas Keldeos, who is the man that knocked us out of playoffs last season, so I'm looking for some sweet revenge versus him. But until then, that's gonna be it for me. Please leave a like, retweet, and subscribe. But until next time, that's it for me. Later, guys.